Please explain the third rule of white supremacy. All right. So the first rule of white supremacy is that all Europeans are racist. And when we say all Europeans are racist, we are simply saying that all white people participate in the system of black oppression, directly or indirectly, consciously or unconsciously, and all white people benefit from the system of black oppression, directly, indirectly, consciously or unconsciously. So the first rule of racism is recognizing that it is a system in which all Europeans participate. All Europeans, there are no exceptions. All Europeans participate in the system of racism because racism cannot exist. It cannot continue. It cannot survive unless every white person participates. That's number one. Okay? And every white person derives a benefit from the system of racism as well. Do you understand? So whether they kill a cop or not, they benefit from the fact that the police are oppressing black people. Whether they participate in the underemployment of black people, it doesn't matter. They benefit from the fact they don't have to compete with those black people who are being systematically unemployed. Whether they are the judge or the prosecutor, it doesn't matter. The fact that so many black people are being locked up creates a domino effect of political and economic problems from which all white people benefit. So I want you all to understand it doesn't matter if the white person is on the sideline or not. They still reap a benefit that none of them have refused to receive at all in history. Let me say that again. There is no white person who has ever given back their white privilege. If you know of a white person who has given back their white privilege, please let me know their name. I'm not aware of a single white person who has ever given back their white privilege. There's not a white person who does not enjoy privilege in this country, in this world, as a result of the stigmatization, dehumanization, exploitation of the black man and woman. So that's rule number one. All white people participate. All white people benefit from racism. Rule number two, okay? Racists don't share power with their victims. Rule number two, racists don't share power with their victims. White people have never shared power with black people. Never in history, never at the current time, never in the future. If you can name a corporation, if you can name a business, if you can name a country, if you can name a set of circumstances where you can show me where the white person shared power with the black person, I would like to know where it is. Because every situation in history where our ancestors shared power with white folk, they ended up losing that power to the white folk. So it may have been a temporary sharing of power, but it ultimately was a capitulation of power away from the black and towards the white. They don't share power. So when you hear people say things like one America, that propaganda that Barack Hussein Obama used to brainwash black people, there's no black America, there's no white America, there's only the United States of America. Do you remember Barack Obama saying that? Do you remember Barack Obama saying that when he won the presidential election, that victory speech? There's no white America. There's no black America. There's only the United States of America. So, Mr. Barack Obama, if there's no white America and there's no black America, there's only the United States of America. Can you explain to me then, Barry Soreto? Can you explain to me, Barry Soreto, if there's no black America or no white America, how is it that 1 out of every 9 black men are either in prison or jail right now. But for white males, that number is like 1 for 40. If there's no black America and no white America, can you help me understand why the average amount of wealth in a black household is less than 10% of the average amount of wealth in a white household? If there's no black America and no white America, how do you explain gentrification, Mr. Barack Obama? Because I'm not aware of a white community that has ever been gentrified by black folks. I have never seen a white community that was gentrified by black people. Does anybody know of a community of white people where black people came in and through the sheer power of their dollar were able to force all the white people out? I'm not aware of that. I'm not aware of a systemic miseducation effort being handed out to white children. I'm not aware of a school to prison pipeline for white boys. So, Mr. Barack Obama, President Obama, if there is no white America and no black America, how do you explain and defend the enormous and drastic differences in quality of life and path through life for black people as compared to white people? If there's no black America and no white America, then help me explain. Help me explain that. Why have black people never achieved an equal footing with white folk in this country in the 155 years since the end of chattel slavery? The truth is, there is a white America and there is a black America. They are unequal. It is unfair. And it is being unaddressed. The differences between white America and black America are unequal, unfair, and most of all, they are being unaddressed. They are being ignored. And on top of that, President Biden wants to help 11 million. 11 million. President Biden wants to help 11 million undocumented immigrants earn their work visas and ultimately their U.S. citizenship. Why does President Biden want to help 11 million undocumented illegal immigrants get a work visa and a citizenship when half the black men in America are unemployed and can't find a job? So if half of the black men in America are unemployed and can't find a job, how did President Biden find time to help 11 million non-citizens get a work visa? How can they get a visa for work when black men can't find work? How can 11 million illegal immigrants get help from the president to get a working visa when half the black men in the country can't find work? And then he wants to fast track them to U.S. citizenship. My question for the president, what is the real reason you want to help these 11 million immigrants get their U.S. citizenship? I know part of it is that'll be 11 million votes for the next Democratic presidential candidate. I understand. Part of that is that will be 11 million votes for the next Democratic presidential nominee. I get that. But what are the other reasons? The most obvious and glaring reason is you want to use these 11 million immigrants to replace black people in the employment market. You want to use these 11 million undocumented immigrants to take the low wage minimum skill jobs from black people. You intend to use these 11 million undocumented illegal immigrants for whom you will provide citizenship to replace black folk. There's 46 million Africans in America. There's 46 million Africans in America. When we take out the ones who are in prison or jail, we're almost to 40. So you're going to bring in illegal immigrants and give them a citizenship and a work visa. And you're going to bring in an amount of these illegal immigrants that is equal to roughly 25% of the black population. Why is Joe Biden rushing this? Why is it so important for Joe to bring in 11 million illegal immigrants, give them a work visa and citizenship so they can replace black people? There is a Negro removal campaign that is in full effect. The only place America wants to see black people is in the cell or in the ground. If you are not in a jail cell and if you are not in the ground, you are a problem in this country. And they're going to give citizenship to these 11 million to make sure you can't even work at McDonald's. You can't even work at airport security. You won't be able to pick up the garbage or sweep the streets. They're going to shut us out. 11 million is a lot of people, brothers and sisters. He didn't say 1 million undocumented immigrants. He didn't say 2 million undocumented immigrants. He didn't say 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. He said 11. 11 million undocumented immigrants. He wants to give them work visa and citizenship, although he's done nothing to address the systemic and endemic problems that affect black America. And what I find interesting about Joe Biden's 11 million immigration plan, which is basically a 11 million Negro removal plan, nobody's questioning the intention of this. The Democratic Party ain't said nothing. Congressional Black Caucus ain't said nothing. NAACP, Urban League, community-based organizations. Nobody's saying anything about this 11 million immigrant new citizen and work visa project of Joe Biden. Rule number 1, all Europeans are racist. Rule number 2, they do not share power with blacks. Rule number 3, to Sister Tiffany's question, the rules of racism. Rule number 3 to Sister Tiffany's question is white supremacy is ruthless. Rule number 3 is ruthlessness. 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 Racism is ruthless. They will poison your water. They will give you COVID, and then they will turn around and give you a COVID vaccination. They will give you AIDS, Ebola. They will miseducate your kids, mass incarcerate your men, kill the babies in the wombs of your woman. Racism is ruthless. There is no moral code. There is no standard of ethics that is going to keep the European from achieving his agenda. He does not stop. No Bible, no Quran, nothing will stop the onslaught of global white supremacy. Nothing at all. You have to organize and fight it. It is ruthless. And that's why when you Negroes try to use a biblical interpretation of white racism, you're wrong. You Muslims want to use a Quranic interpretation of race, you're wrong. Okay? I don't care who you are. Ain't no religious book has no solution in it for white supremacy because it is ruthless. And if you think you're going to pray your oppressor into loving you, then you're sicker than he is. If you think you're going to pray your oppressor into loving you, then you are sicker than he.